No, sir, I don't like it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to No Sir Pod, the podcast where we talk about shit we don't like with people we love. And today is no exception. I'm joined by the incomparable Byron Bowers. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you
Not
for
bad.
being here.
So it's basically like motherfuckers in here complaining.
Sure. It doesn't have to be.
Is that what therapy is?
I mean, there's plenty of things I don't like about that.
About therapy?
Yeah. But I think therapy is supposed to be you analyzing things that happened in the past to see if it is affecting your future or present. But what I think a lot of people do is pay $90 to $150 a week to complain. Yes.
Oh, wow. I've done it only in couples and they complain about me the whole time. I feel like I ain't got shit to say because I'm pretty chill. You know, I let stuff slide and then I explode.
Yeah. Well, that's repression. So that's probably something that should be addressed, that you should be able to,
Why?
You should feel like your voice is valid and should be contributed to a relationship.
The best school shooters have always come from repressive.
Right. But you're at a school now. So it would be silly for you to go shoot up a school now.
Unless I repress the memory and somebody piss me off now.
Oh, that's right.
And then I go to
back
therapy,
to it.
then go back to school. You know
That's what it is. Uncover it.
Yeah. Because the teachers ain't as fast no more. You ain't even got to use a real gun at this point. Put some baby oil on the floor, pull the fire alarm and let them
That's
run.
A very Looney Tunes approach
Yeah,
to a
let 'em
shooting.
slide.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because some baby oil was put on the floor in our high school. Yeah, and there was a situation and people started sliding.
Wait, why did somebody bring baby oil to school?
For fun. They got the floors that are like real smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like to be a guy that buff them every night. Because I got bused to a white school. So it'd be somebody buff them every night. So, yeah, they wanted to put oil on that. Slick shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Goonies?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But, yeah. Okay.
But I do think, especially with a couples therapy, if your voice isn't being heard, then it is going to be one-sided, because then there's like, you should feel like you deserve to have your shit aired as well. So.
But I'm a dude.
Yeah, I know.
It'll never be that way. If it's a thing,
It's a new world, man. You can totally have feelings and shit.
You can have them, but to share them, it'd be like two women. At that point, I think.
Not true. I disagree. I know a lot of dudes, because here's the catch about being the cool chick, about being around dudes all the time. Yeah. Because I'm a woman, and whenever they seem to remember that, then they feel like it's safe for them to open up their feelings to me, because I'm not a conquest, right? Yep. I'm a chick that they're not trying to fuck, and I'm safe.
Yeah.
So they all that shit comes out.
Yeah, to you, but I'm talking about to the person that you got to like live with.
Right.
Yeah, it ain't gonna come out there. It's gonna come out to somebody else, which is you.
Well,
to some guys, it's a side chick.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the side chick catch feelings.
That's also why I think so many dudes should have female friends.
Why the fuck you catching feelings for? You know what I mean? You don't supposed to be catching feelings, and it's like, nigga, you done shared your whole 10-year itinerary with this lady.
Well, that's why I think it's so important for dudes to have chick friends, because I feel like that's, if there is stuff that they don't feel, well, that's another problem, is why don't you feel safe enough in your relationship to be able to, that should be the bitch that you can share all your shit with.
I think so, but then the feelings get hurt because you're sharing the shit with them.
Yes, but that's her responsibility. But that's what I'm saying, therapy.
Even take the emotional stuff out of it.
Okay.
It could be new dick joke premises.
Mm-hmm.
And after 9 years, they like, why you still doing dick joke premises? And I'm like, this don't go away for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
You know, so.
I still think about the chariot, the dude with the glove, rotisserie.
Oh yeah, getting the girl out You know, finger banging back then.
Finger banging in, what was it, the 1700s?
Yeah, the 1700s, how tough it was. Because that's what guys wore wigs. That's another thing. Yeah, guys wore wigs and they were a little bit more, you know,
They wore
cultured then.
heels. Nobody gave each other
stockings and stuff. And they still like.
A lot of bows. Dudes with the bows, man.
Brioche, what do they call it? Not brioche, but brooches.
Yeah, they would wear brooches.
Yeah, I was in France and I was like, these are the man brooches, big ass diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
And they give rapper shit, but yeah, so it's just speaking on that line of like defining what is like masculinity really, you know. It's something your grandfather taught you, but like you said, it's these new group of dudes that are like men, they'll beat your ass, but then they'll cry. You know, they'll watch like a Disney film and cry. You know what I mean? I can't even say that because I watched a Disney film and cry, but you know, I guess I'm on both sides of it, but yeah, man, that's why that joke came about. Cause at the end of the day, these dudes still want. They dressed up, they got on makeup and all that, but they still want some pussy. Mm-hmm. So they gotta like, you know, take the glove off. Try to get up.
I hope you guys are watching on YouTube.
Lift all them underwear that women had on back then.
Yeah, the petticoats.
Man, there's a lot.
And the lace, what's it called? Pinafores, and then the other one, their stockings.
That's what had to get through all the pubic hair they had.
That's true. Yeah.
Their fingers doing all this.
Luckily, they would brush it. They would brush it to keep it
sideways.
So now
that?
You could part it.
They had the alfalfa with the one above the clit sticking out.
Yeah. With the curls on the end.
Damn, you know what I mean? Old flapper pussy hair having ass. As I rub my shit, like, you know what I mean? They would party like this.
Yeah.
That's how motherfuckers did pussy in the 70s.
He just parted from the side.
That's what they were eating pussy too. Platforms on and shit, sneaking out the house. Oh, my husband home, nigga. Platform jumping out the window and shit.
Man, they must have had strong ankles in the 70s to be doing all that. Bruh. I mean, committing crimes in heels is just so,
Can you imagine?
Ballsy. Yes, I can imagine. As a person who is committing
I think that's why back then niggas only stole like hubcaps. You look at the history of crime. Cause the dude run and all that shit with platform heels on.
Also, yeah, it's like TVs back then were those huge ass, heavy ass boxes. You can't steal that in platform heels.
And that's pre-crack. That motherfuckers were strong back then. They really wanted that TV.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you didn't have the strength of narcotics, and you had if you had weak ankles at all, you couldn't be a thief. You'd have to flat foot it or leave your shoes in the car.
Oh yeah.
Which ew.
And then you running in church socks.
Yeah.
Hey, what's wrong with Johnny walking down?
Then you start zapping everybody because you get all the friction.
Freeze, you're on the wreck. Oh, he's shooting. Pop, pop.
He got shot for static electricity.
Static electricity. I'm gonna make that a bit.
Do it. Oh, sorry, but so is there any? So you like that's okay. There's
we still trying to talk about the premise.
Yeah, okay, we don't have to, but
no, I'm saying okay, go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of different aspects in your life. I feel like you could find things that you don't. Because first of all, you're a gearhead. You love vehicles. It's one of the things we chatted about the first time we worked together. Is there anything about that culture that you don't like that gets annoying?
I don't like when you stunt and then like your shit get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like you outside the club and you got your music set and you like, man, I'm about to take off on these hoes. Mm-hmm. And then you hit the thing and the roof come out and your song playing and then the roof gets stuck. And the music jamming and you like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean?
And then it's
like doing this shit. And then you can't drive off with it because the car's like, you like, oh, damn, I got to turn the whole car off now.
Now it's an issue.
Then people coming up to the car at the same time.
Well, yeah,
this happened to me outside the Improv. I parked right outside the Improv. I had a 911 Targa 4S. You know what I mean? 2024 992.1, and nice blue color, and the roof got stuck. and the music was playing, and I had to turn down the music because I didn't want to just cut the car off.
Right.
And so I had to turn the music down before I cut the car off. And as soon as I was turning down the music, somebody came up and had a conversation with me, and had to have a conversation with the roof halfway open. Hey man, I like your set. Thank you, bro. You anywhere else in town? Where can I find you? And I'm stuttering and shit. Yeah. The websites is a thing, and then we got Instagram. I'm still looking back at the roof, hitting the button and shit, trying to reset it 3 seconds. You know what I mean? 15 seconds.
It's also just wild to me that people are not aware. Like, you're obviously trying to fix something.
No, not. I was like low key doing it. You know? I look like I'm still in the car now.
How does this thing work? What do the buttons do?
They got this. My car is older, but I get cars occasionally. I rotate like Porsches sometimes, 911s, because I'm a spiritual nigga. That's my special on Hulu. And I was gonna say 911 is a very spiritual number. Look it up on the numerology chart. But either way,
is that why the car is for the numerology, or is it because you just like Porsches, or is it both?
It just so happened to sync up that way spiritually.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But I like.
So what's the rotation? How does the rotation help with the spirituality part, if you don't mind me asking?
It's just new. It's just a different car. My car is older. My car is. I don't want to get into it, but
okay.
You know, either way, I get. But the thing is, these newer cars got the thing when you walk proximity, when you walk up to the car, like the windows fold, it's comfort entry. Like it lets you know the lights come on, and it's like welcome home. When I was at this store, you know, the grocery store, and I was walking to the car, and I'm like bopping to the car and stuff, and the car opened, and then I got closer to the car, and it was like, and it just locked up on me, and I was like, oh, this car racist, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm putting my hip to the car because that's what the key is.
Come on, yeah.
I'm like doing this shit. Nothing happening.
It's me.
Then the handle come open when I put my hip on and do like that, and then I put my hand on the thing and it locks up and it like snatched my finger and shit. And I'm like, oh shit, you racist ass car. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
I'm like, that's why you was invented by, you know who was invented by. But then I had to pull my people looking at me like I'm about to steal this car, and I had to I just pulled the key fob out and just held it up.
It's mine. It's just being a bitch right now.
But I don't like when you work on cars and like, or you try to stunt and something embarrassing happen. Like you try to do a donut, which I don't do, but you see people do that, try to do donuts, and then they get in car accidents, and I'm like, oof.
Because they always do that on La Brea. That's like the place where people do it.
Because it's wide.
Right by the Grove, you know what I'm talking about? There's that big, huge intersection. And I always see people on motorcycles and people in cars doing that in the middle of the day, too. And I saw it it was very close, but he spun out of control. What was it? It was like an older car, like something like an RX-7 or something like that.
Ooh,
but it was
rotary motor.
Yeah. So he was trying to do it, and it just caught a little too much, and he almost hit right into another, and it was like another nice I think it was like a BMW or something like that, but it was just like, man, that would not have worked out well. No. But I was just at it was like a little car show, and it had a bunch of, there was some 911s there was like some old VWs, like it was like a mix of vehicles. It wasn't one specific, because you know sometimes they're just specific to one kind of car, but this had a bunch of shit. And the wind had kicked up so bad, and like it blew up one of those tents, and it flipped the tent, and the landed right in the top of a soft top of an old Porsche. I'm talking like 1970 or something like that, and went right through the fucking roof of it. So talk about you being at a car show to stunt, and then your car gets fucking ruined there. It was brutal. By the wind, too. Who are you gonna sue? That must have been so upsetting.
Then the homeless man, hey, what are you doing in my house? Stop that thief. You know what I mean? It was like, wait a minute.
Because, it was one of those, like, event tents, like, where they had you, where you could go, like, sign up to be in the car club or whatever, and it was one of those, and it just came up, so it was just a pole that went right through the roof, and I was like, oh, man, that's gotta be total heart-wrenching. Yeah, heart-wrenching.
Total. Not getting that back. What else I don't like? This is a bunch of various things. You ever, like, work out, work up the confidence, if you're a person that don't share emotions a lot, and you got to work up to share something, right? And you like, you share something with somebody, and then they just shoot that shit down, and you just like, you got to eat that shit.
Yeah,
I guess it happened to women a lot. You know what I mean?
I think that.
But I'm talking about like food and like you trying to give food to like the homeless person or something.
Oh,
like, you want the food because you kept it. Because I remember sleeping in my car, so sometimes I have food and I still be like, all right, I'm gonna eat this now and I'm gonna eat this later. Because that's just how you come up doing stand up and shit. And then you see somebody and you like, man, I don't want to give them this. What I'm gonna eat later? All that shit. And then you like, give it to them. And you give it to them and they just shoot that shit down.
Yeah. I think I had it one time where I had gotten like a sandwich or something, and I tried to, this was when I was living in Chicago. There was always a dude sitting outside of the front of the 7-Eleven. And one day I like had enough money, so I got an extra sandwich and I gave it to him. And then he was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's just the Cuban from inside, like a Cuban sandwich from inside. And he was like, ugh, I don't eat meat.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, well, all right. Why? I didn't know. I don't have enough money to buy another sandwich, so I don't know what the fuck you.
Let me eat the meat out this motherfucker.
You could have just had the bread and the pickles and the mustard. Just take the meat part off.
That's vegan, right?
It's
funny. I got a bit about when somebody like, I don't eat fast food, but I never. You do bits and you never know the emotional side where it comes from. But I think we just discovered where that. For me, where that.
So what's the premise? We don't have to do the bit, but what's the premise?
The premise is just that you share. You not used to sharing like that, but you get to the point where you share and you share and they shut it down.
Yeah,
and it does. It's like you let the wall down to do this thing, and then they just like slap you, and you're like, oh, So
I mean, I think that goes back to the thing in the beginning with the not wanting to share in therapy is like that makes you feel unsafe. That's the thing, is if you finally work something up to be like, here it is, and then somebody's like, that's stupid or whatever, and just brushes it off or is like, that's what? Any kind of that's why you're not supposed to be reactive when somebody is being vulnerable. That's like that's how you're supposed to.
Oh, when somebody shares something, you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm certain your dad has shared some things with you and like you had to just listen to it and be like, oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, later on, because he was schizophrenic, so a lot of stuff he shared, I just had to like go in that world with him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which I didn't like, you know what I mean?
No, but that's the point.
But now that you mention it, that's what the therapy, if you do couples therapy, that's what they mean. They like, that's, it's funny that you said that because they said last time I was in therapy, they was like, you should, if somebody's feeling a certain way and you don't feel that way, you should go into that world with them. And I'm like, how you supposed to feel some shit a nigga ain't feeling it, But now that I think about it, it's a version of that. Man, some real healing going on in here. I don't like it.
I didn't mean to. That's not what this podcast is about.
It's not, but the spirituality part of it puts me in these circles, you know what I mean? Where these discoveries are made.
I mean, that's always been a thing that like is therapists, heal, like shaman, all those types of people have always told me that I have a healing thing, aura, whatever the fuck. It's that. So
congratulations.
I don't fight it anymore.
No.
So now it's just like, but I think part of it, it's just I just want to be able to help.
Well, I mean, mentally, that's what it's about, right? And I have the same gift. But it's funny, a lot of times when or a person like me is in a space that's safe, it's like a little mushroom trip.
Yeah.
Right? So it's always a complete circle.
Yeah.
Like even when I did ayahuasca, you come in with these things or you think it's issues, and then by the end you're like, oh, this makes sense now, you know? So that's what's good about it, because you don't have to, just like with forms of meditation, you don't even have to like do anything no more. You can see the patterns in life. This yuzu, boy, woof.
Is it too much?
I think I don't drink a lot of carbonated stuff.
I don't either, because the same reason, it gives me the burps. But I like how yuzu tastes.
It's bringing up old shit.
It's the yuzu. That's what it is.
This is
I dosed it. By
therapy
the way.
in a glass. Regret what you ate last night or don't remember? Have a yuzu. It'll bring it back.
Yeah, I dosed it, by the way, too. That's what it is. Is I put a bunch of mushrooms, or so you're actually on mushrooms right now. Um, was there anything about? I've never done the ayahuasca trip, all
Yeah.
that. Was there anything about that you didn't like? Or was it good? Did you see the lady or the snake and all the things that people say they see? Or what?
I saw my grandfather, and the part I didn't like was seeing my mom and her 8 siblings left f for society to feed on them in the projects
Hmm.
by my grandfather, and I had to watch that, and then I had to apologize to my grandmother as my grandfather for leaving her in the projects with 9 kids.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and, the responsibility that came after that. I can't say I don't like it, but it's just like it's just like
It sucks when you end a trip with a to-do list.
yeah. It's like
Where
the
he's
universe is like, "This is your next task," and you like, "This ain't this
this is a lot.
this is a lot. This is it. This is your final task on this planet," and you like, "Oh shit, this is the one, huh?"
I can't skip back, Dave. Fuck, I
No,
gotta carry
you
this
gotta go.
shit.
But if you complete it, then the the cycle is complete.
Mhm,
Then you know your generations will be able to move on.
mhm. I mean, yeah, the task of generational healing and generational like
Yeah,
it seems insurmountable. Um, but I
you,
feel like it I feel like it's supposed to feel like that too.
yeah. I mean, don't try to put too much pressure. Like try to have fun with it,
Mhm.
even though it is like a big thing. But still try to have it's still like your life, and you still gotta have fun with it. You might not can't do it like
Yeah.
I can't go off and smoke crack or nothing. You got to watch what the other
Yeah.
ancestors did, and it was like, well, they had all the fun. You know what I mean?
I guess I have to clock in.
You know they say like for people who of affluence, sometimes like one generation makes the money and the other one spends it.
Hmm.
It's just like that. So it's like I can't go out and do these things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it seems so fun.
It does seem fun to not give a fuck.
They give a fuck. It's just like this is just their thing. I can't even say it's not mine because I'm still like young, I guess, and living life. So
Hmm. Well, I feel like
I
there's
just take it one day at a time.
yeah, that's all you can do. But I think part of it is like, um, I think that's part of the healing thing is like also remembering that having joy is important, as especially when you're talking about generational, like that stuff that was literally robbed from people for generations. So
Bro.
it's like that's another way of winning, and I think that's also probably part of that is probably why you end up in these spiritual circles and stuff like that, because I think the healing is part of
Yeah.
it. So
It's like that. It's like a premise for a bit I got when I said nobody think about the slave masters
mhm,
and everything they lost when slaves became free.
mhm,
And that's like generations of wealth and stuff that was gone,
mhm.
and they dreams and they vision and stuff just left. And I equate it to the me having like cryptocurrency and it dropping down. And I'm like, I'm mad. I'm like, fuck. Is like, because when you do stuff like that, you do have these dreams of
Mhm.
like, I ain't got to do shit no more. And like the next 2 or 3 years, it's over. This shit gonna do all the work.
Yeah.
It's gonna work while I sleep. All that shit that they probably said about slaves in my mind.
Mhm.
And then that shit is over, and you like, I don't have any skills.
I mean, that's how I feel about stand up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have any. And then you get mad. I was like, you get mad at crypto and like you like fuck it, and then you get it's done, it's free and whatever. You get over it, and then the shit shoot back up, and you like,
Maybe.
and now you mad. Everybody talking about crypto again. It went to
Mhm.
100K, and you become this angry person watching everybody celebrate. and it hit me like this is what they go through.
Mm.
It brought me closer to them because I'm like, this is what they go through when they see.
You don't think they just parlayed into a different asset or a different product? No?
I'm like, when they see Oprah and Jordan and them, they be mad than a motherfucker. They like, I should have held on to that shit. It's a fucked up piece. But a lot of my shit is fucked up. It comes from places, you know what I mean?
You make the audience go in your world the way your dad makes you go in his.
Ayahuasca.
Oh.
But it's I can't say they parlayed because I mean I'm from the South, so you had a lot of like you know, you had like Jim Crow, you had the way the police became that.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely took away some of the wealth, because it really wasn't about slaves anyway. It was about one person making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because the South was just rich in resources because of that. And the North had like
yeah, man, you had free labor. Are you
well,
kidding
like
me?
they said,
if
on
you
the
had
low,
a company, the most expensive thing is the fucking labor. If you're not paying labor.
And low key, that's what I read the war was about, because they was like, we already got infrastructure in the North. We got factories.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to pay these people $300 a year. And the South was like, why would I pay somebody $300 a year when I could buy a family for $300 and just keep producing it? And then they just keep producing these cotton, and we export this cotton. Like, they balling. Mm-hmm. They just balling with a country accent like this. You know what I mean? Them boys smart down there. Don't let them fool you, you know. But shout out to all my rednecks and stuff. But I think it really, I just, you know, I'm like, people are affected for different ways, but sometimes we just don't hear other people part of the story. Sure. But you can sense it deep down. You're like, why do these motherfuckers still act like this a little bit? You know, and it's like, oh, okay, I get it.
So it's like 400 years of their generational wealth being taken away from
That's
them.
A lot of bread.
That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot of bread. So
you're saying that's where it bubbles up from, is 400 years of that. You think that's where it comes from? Like, that's where the source of it?
I mean, it still could be in the DNA hidden, but I would be mad if I see somebody stunt. You know what I mean? If I see somebody stunt on 4 generations of money now, I'm still like, this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it got to be the reverse when
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is everybody hates on Nepo babies, myself included, hates on Nepo babies and shit like that. So, like, I think that's their their racist version of that.
And I'm trying to raise one.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to raise one. Make it hard for y'all to date my daughter. Her first church was the Vatican in the pulpit.
Oh, really?
That was the first church she went to. On her first trip, her first time on the plane was to Italy.
Wow.
She's a little epic baby.
That's nice.
Her first cold was COVID. In Italy, she had Italian COVID, just a little bit. Excuse me.
19. Was there anything you didn't like about the Vatican or Rome in general? I mean,
man,
I'm not big into Catholicism, so it's not attractive to me. Other than the art, it's not attractive to me.
The art, they talk about don't take a photo of this thing, like they ain't got
a million of them online.
Google? Yeah. And I didn't like, and it's fucked up because I talk about this, I didn't like the fact that you could be poor in America and everybody talk about Europe and make it seem like this big thing, and you save up and you go to Europe and it's like, it's a bunch of old shit. Mm-hmm. Like their infrastructure old, their buildings are old, and it's like, I could have went to Detroit for this shit. Like, we got our own old shit over here, you know what I mean? And they don't come visit none of our old shit.
Well, our old shit is still way younger than their old shit.
But it's better than their old shit. Our old shit is newer, like she said, than they old shit.
But it's not made as well. Ever since the 1930s, when all the architecture here changed, that's when everybody started getting cheap. So like all of these buildings they're like, that's why those buildings are in better condition than the buildings in Detroit, because they're built better. There's an aqueduct in Spain from the fucking 1500s that's still functional. And there's trees growing in the middle of houses in fucking Detroit.
Come check it out though. Still, you know what I mean? I bet you it's cheaper than going to Europe. And the food better. You get some pizza with a bunch of cheese on that shit. They don't do that shit in Europe. They pizza be this thin. You get chicken wings with your shit. Ain't no chicken wings with the pizza in Europe.
They don't put it together. That's a very American thing.
No. The lettuce, we got our cheese yellow. That's how you can tell we're a melting pot over here. They cheese white. Hard and shit. Soft, wet. The fuck? So yeah, it's shit like that. Mona Lisa, they want you to wait an hour to see her, and she like a LA 5. Like Down syndrome type chick. Just like, she be like...
She does have a very... I think that's why everybody always projected it on her. I never thought she was smiling. They were saying that's a woman smiling? That is an unhappy woman if that is her smile.
She was happy, but they, women was harsh back then. They didn't have no feminine products probably like they got now.
They're probably just free
bleeding. They got slapped every time they talked. You know what I mean? They underwear was like 13 feet long. Dudes' pants were shorter than women's pants back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, sweaty titties, all that shit they had to do.
Yeah, man. Not only that, and having to wear all the corsets and stuff, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
That shit is brutal.
So, I just hope she didn't get me too doing that photo. Wouldn't it be fucked up? She in heaven looking back like, this the one I hated.
I know, yeah. If some shit happened, if her face was like, fucking help me. If she's there painting.
When you write comments and you see this, tell me to turn that into something. I'm gonna start a podcast, fuck with you. Get the premises and shit. It's a dodgeball right by my foot.
Yeah, it's good. Did you ever play when you were a kid?
Hell yeah.
Were you
I know what them little ridges in the ball feel like on my face. I know the sound it make when it hit your face, like doink, and then it echoes.
There's something about a rubber ball hitting. We had these big concrete areas. Uh-oh. What? Amen.
Uh-oh. Not them type of balls.
The hard rubber.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one from the little sex toy. Go ahead.
Wait, what?
Because the way he said amen, I thought you were talking about the ones that,
Which ones?
They come attached to the dildo. And he be smacking his face.
Oh. Dude, it took me so long to get there. I was like, what ball? What sex balls?
That was a hard turn
I know.
from where we was, but...
Well, when you were talking about balls, I immediately was like, anal beads? What balls are you talking about? But you're talking about actual balls attached to it. Oh. Fair enough.
I don't have the patience for anal beads. I seen it in a video one time.
It's a process.
Yeah. I only like putting quarters in the
meter.
I think I'm gonna put
vending machine.
Damn, that's another one right there. Damn. We getting gems today. Now I'm about to go viral. Yes.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's another thing I didn't like. Europe, I don't like the fact, and it's my fault. We travel with like 12 bags, and ain't no Tahoes over there.
Oh yeah, everything's pretty. It's either a van, you can get a minivan. That's about it.
No, the minivans, the big vans are not big, and then they give you one of those vans that if you get the biggest van, that's like what $1,000 a week or something, or a day. It's not even. It's just all bench seats. And you're like, my baby ain't gonna be comfortable in this. So a bunch of little stuff, I guess. Champagne problems at this point because you made it to Europe.
You made it to Europe, yeah. See, I had the opposite experience in that I loved the food there. One, because there's no plastic in it.
That's true.
So that part of it was really nice. And in Spain specifically, everything was like, for the most part, unless you're buying like big things at like a grocery store, they would be like, this food was grown like over there.
Oh yeah.
And that shit's dope.
Those
to
are
me.
benefits. Like I was in Greek mountains,
Mhm.
and I was with some farmers. I'm eating the chicken and looking at the chicken.
Yeah.
And that was the best chicken I ever had. While I'm
Do you
looking at
think
the
it
chicken.
tasted better because you could see his friend, or
It's just
fresh?
Yeah, it's just so fresh. You could taste some of the soul of it. You know what I mean?
It's still
But in a
there.
good way, you know.
This still hadn't left yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it's the difference between making love on an airplane versus waiting till you get to the hotel.
What do you think is better? I mean, one
Like
you have
on
to
the plane.
do just to say to do it. You did it.
Well, I've
I feel
done
like
it
it's more
before, but it's
comfortable.
like everything's ready to go.
Mhm.
Everything's ready to go. Like everybody turned on. You know, she leaking fluid, you leaking fluid. You know what I mean? It's like it's go time. But then by the time you wait, you can have thoughts pop in and like whatever. But it was so raw. The vegetables was so like good and like, I mean, and because you outside of the city, I mean, it's just that much more. Like this is what we have. This is how we cook it, and let's go. I mean, we had like an hour up in the mountains, so
yeah, that's nice.
You know, so I mean, those parts are good. The freshness is good. I've been to Europe probably I don't know how many times, but it's enough. Every time I come back, I eat less stuff. Like the first time I ate Little Debbie's, like zebra cake, and when I came back, I was like, I was over there. I was like, I want some zebra cakes, and they was like, those are legal here. And I stopped eating zebra cakes.
Yeah.
And last I had them peanut butter M&Ms, like a pound of them. I went over there, they didn't have them. Stop eating those, you know. So it's good for those reasons. But I mean, you know, I was complaining about their hamburger, and somebody was like, you know, some bougie dude was like, the reason the burgers are dry like that is because it's grounded steak. You know, in America, y'all burgers are made from the bad parts of the cow. And here they grind the steak up and make the burger. And I was there with another person from Atlanta, and I was like, man, we need that fucked up ass meat then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, why are they acting like cows don't have fat on them? It's just a use a fattier part. I don't know if that's better, but also then cook it less. To make it juicier. Yeah,
I want the juice. There wasn't no fat in it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, they grounded that. You know, our burgers, it look like little worms. You know, they stuff is real grounded. It's real. I'm like, y'all don't have to grind it that much. Like relax a little bit. You know. Yeah, those are my complaints too. So ain't no, they don't like put like, you know, I don't drink a lot of coffee because I'm allergic, but I was when I was there because that's what they had. That's they drink. And they don't have like juice or nothing like that.
Wait, you're allergic to coffee?
Caffeine, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My fucking ADHD ass could not handle that. Holy shit.
Blanco tequila.
Well, yeah, I mean, tequila's great because it's the only alcohol that gives you a fucking boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I mean, you can't.
You're explaining yourself to that in the morning time.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like tough, but you know, but that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You take a little hit of that thing.
How does it affect? So does it just make you nauseous or what? What is it? Make you break out in hives? What happens?
I think with this, man, it affects my mind somehow. And I go on this roller coaster like crying, and I be real horny, and then I get real sad, and then it's like,
oh shit. So it makes you like rapid cycle.
Then I would just want to hug somebody, you know, like I just express love and just hug somebody.
When you have a cup of coffee?
Then I want to like eat ass to me right after that.
Wow.
And then it's like, and then you just like, you done and you sad, and then your brain just in a fog, which I'm pretty sure it normally happens to people when they come down from coffee, but I just don't like the fog part of it. The rest I could like deal with because I'm not.
So was it over like same over there when you were drinking coffee there?
Whatever there, they don't put the milk in the, like I like my coffee to taste like hot chocolate. So I need 12 pumps of vanilla latte. Well, I only drink vanilla lattes and stuff. They don't have those over there. And then they try to act snooty about it. Like we ain't got all the guns in the world. Like,
he's like, do you know how many nuclear missiles we have?
Yeah, y'all don't know how violence. You know, I know you know how violence works. I went to your museum and I seen all the stuff y'all stole. So, If you don't motherfucking put no sugar in my shit, I'm gonna put a Starbucks right there. I'm gonna call Trump. It's funny you're an American. That I don't care who the president, whether you like him or not. You American, so they gonna say that's your boy anyway.
Yes.
So you like, I'm gonna call Trump. Oh, we gonna put a Starbucks right there.
You know what they got? Plenty of pumps.
Yep.
There's plenty of pumps. Hopefully the syrups aren't banned from the country.
Oh man, that'll be like sneaking syrups in the country. You imagine going to jail for that? What'd you do, man? I brought some vanilla latte over from they called me with 12 boxes of that shit. I was running, I was throwing vanilla lattes out.
What are you in for? Oh, trafficking?
Yeah.
Human, drugs, guns, lattes.
They was bringing a man through the what's that shit I went to on shrooms with all the skeletons in it?
Oh, the catacombs.
Yeah.
They're bringing them
sneaking them in through the catacombs. With I seen a skull with some sugar in it. We was like freezing. He just put the sugar in the skull and started drinking it. Drinking out the skull like it was Indiana Jones and shit. He got so hyper, he started running real fast through the catacombs. Can you imagine that chase?
Yeah, I mean, how like
police walk by, you get out of the skull like
you
this.
just hiding in a bunch of skulls.
Your eyes moving like that. You get up and run. And then the song from the theme song from Juice, not Juice, was the one when Chris Rock was on the bike running in New Jack City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that song, you know.
This is the silliest heist movie I think has ever been created.
Boom, dum, 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 dum. I got juice. You hit nigga with a skull. Bang, boom, you'll never take me alive.
And they're like, no, you're ruining history. You're messing up our preserved history.
If you need teeth.
There's so many.
Yeah, you could go down to the catacombs and just like.
How many do you think they just sweep out? They're just every day because they gotta be falling out.
The fact that they got what 6 million, 2 million bodies underground chilling, let you know what type of city it is and how they get down back in the day. Then they try to act all snooty like you. They walk around and stuff.
Like they're not walking around on dead
bodies and like their history ain't crazy. You know what I mean? And like they can't say R. That's what I don't like. They can't say R. They be like R.
They say what?
R. Because they stuff come from the back of the throat.
Oh, God. Okay.
So we say
how
R.
They
be like they be like this.
I felt that same way about Savannah. Like when I was in Savannah.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Damn.
When I was in Savannah, there was just women getting married and it was just so like they were making it seem like so pretty and they're walking on the streets that are paved over just fucking millions of dead bodies.
Yeah, slave. You know, I heard at one of the burger places right there, they got nice burgers that they still got the little pen hanging out the wall where they were slave chains to. And when I go there, I'm going to eat a burger and look at that shit. Like I'm looking at y'all right now and just...
Just hard stare at it.
Just reminisce, you know what I mean? Maybe I should do that on ayahuasca and touch the thing.
Oof.
Man, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yes.
But what if you get the power of like 1 million slaves?
I mean...
Print that. That's a superhero movie for black people. $15 million budget.
15 million. I can get it up.
No, they don't get that. They don't give black people no budgets on film. $15 million. Franchise film. $5 million. 3 films.
I would actually like to see just like a murder mystery where a black dude is figuring it out and not the one that's murdered. You know, like a Sherlock Holmes or like a detective.
Oh, just a black.
Just like, because the only one we really have is like Ice-T, you know? And
I heard him get a lot of lines.
And he doesn't. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't even talk very much.
That's a nice check, though. I'm trying to look for them roles.
Minimal lines.
You getting your hair done studying the lines? We checking on the prince. We checking on the prince. We're gonna go to rehearsal after this.
Well, I was reading some film nerd article about how like the characters that we love most in films usually don't talk much. And that was why like Keanu Reeves charged them like $15 million per word. That's why in each John Wick movie he has less and less and less lines. So like in John Wick 4, they had to give him an extra like 58 million or 38 million dollars for because they wanted him to say as many words. So it was like he was like, either you trust me in that the less I say the better this is, or you're gonna have to pay me a fuck ton of money to talk.
That's why I always be like, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the first thing he said in the last 6 to 7 minutes.
And during that moment, I already done walked to the bank and cashed the check, signed it, waited in line, and they left the bank, got back in my car, and I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm doing it the wrong way. I always add extra lines in it.
Well, I feel like it's when you're being funny, I feel like because a lot of times you're funnier than the thing that's written that you're reading. So, especially when you like
I
have
only
a
do dramas.
unlocked.
I only do dramas, so they be cutting around my shit. If it's funny, they cut around it.
Oh, really?
But I just be adding extra sad lines. You know what I mean? Like, look at that dead baby with that crooked eye, even though his eyes are closed. Oh, yeah, I'm sad. I'm so sad. I'm getting hungry. You ever been so sad? You hungry when you? Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so hungry at the same time.
I have a pain in my heart and my stomach.
My stomach at the same time. You know, I see the Del Taco up the street for this murder.
I mean, I would hate to have to be the boom mic when you're on saying all this shit. I would have been too giggly. I can't. I would be laughing so much. It's so good that
I was in the show Irma Velt, and we was doing a love scene with just sound with Adria Jorna and me, and us
like a sex scene or like
yeah.
Okay.
And they had a guy with a boom mic in it. That was all in the room. You know what I mean? And we were just doing. They just wanted the sound. You know. So we in there, and it's like, all right. When we say action, just give us, a sound, a few moans and stuff. And then they just like, all right, action. And I was like, And I looked at her and she was like, She was like, and I just grabbed a pillow and I was like, And then she was like, and I looked and there was a guy with a boom mic standing in the corner. And I just got so whatever, he started like peeking over his shoulder real slow like that. You know what I mean? At one point I was humping the pillow and pointing at the boom guy. You know what I mean? And they was like,
because there's no cameras.
We gotta know. They was like, good. And I was just started laughing. Everybody bust out laughing, man. But that's why I was in Paris for so long, shooting that film. I got one of Paris Jordans right now. You know what I mean? People be like, why are you wear these? These are a collector's item. Hold on.
I mean, I want to talk about like
there you go, from the house.
I've never been I'm not a collector of anything. So
nothing?
I mean, like, no, there's things I have, like sunglasses. Like, I have a fuck ton of sunglasses.
But
I wear
a collector, though.
But I wear them all. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing that I own that I don't use. Because my grandmother always used to do that. I think that's because I just wanted to rebel so much against the hoarder mentality of like keeping anything. Yeah. Like my mom and my grandmother, they kept too much stuff. So I never.
No, I get it. I used to do that. I do that with certain things, and then it's like, I mean, I'll get something nice, and then I'll hold on to it. It's like one day I'm gonna wear that shit, and then I gain like 10 pounds, and I was like. Or like COVID happened, and all my shit I couldn't even wear. I had to get rid of it. And I think it's like when your parents especially come up a certain way, when they do get something, it's something like it reminds them of like it's a sunglass to you, but it reminds them of what they went through to get it. And that's how those things
I still have my first pair of expensive, and by expensive I just mean like $100.
Yeah,
I still have my first pair of sunglasses that I bought.
This is the second watch I ever bought.
There is something
$100.
There is something about a timepiece that I always think is, I always think a man should have a nice timepiece. I don't know where that comes from. It's not like, I mean, my dad wears watches, but it was never like his thing or anything like that. He just always had a watch. But I don't know what it is. I think it's just the aesthetic or
Yeah.
something. I just always think a watch.
I liked them before I got them, so I got my first one and I got this one.
Mhm.
And then my last one I got, but I definitely think I want more, but I don't know, man. It's something about I guess stacking bread and then trying to put it into something good at this point, and then having a daughter that's like, I can't go out and get no
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
watch.
like childcare is kind of trumps the
Man,
the
childcare
watch
is
the
expensive.
watch collection. Nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you when you have a kid, you can't have a fucking
No,
watch
you
collection
can't. Don't let
anymore.
them tell you you can't. You know what I realized though? Having the kid makes and breaks certain people.
Mhm.
So if you still want your timepiece and stuff, it's just like how
You got to work that much harder,
or you gotta
figure out
get
ways.
busy. Like, how do you create that moment? You know,
Mhm.
to get these things. You know, because I know people with like 4 kids and they still got, you know, they rings are like $15,000 and shit like that.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
they not watch people.
Yeah, they're not.
No, they don't wear watches, but they rings is just like, I'm like, damn, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
And that's the thing. I've never been a big jewelry person either.
Just sunglasses,
Sunglasses,
lipsticks,
not even. I think I have
socks.
like 3 of them. Socks. I mean, I have socks because I have to wear them, but they're not like, there's no collector
Yeah.
socks. Um,
I hoard underwear.
you hoard? What do you mean? Like you just don't throw them out?
No, I mean, I wear them out, but I got like packs just in case.
Just unopened packs?
I got open packs. I probably don't even fit them no more, but
You just don't ever
you know
want
how
to
you
run
go
out?
to how you go to like Ross and they finally got your size and
Mhm.
you're like, I'm gonna get like 5 of these motherfuckers.
Mhm.
It's like that.
I think that's more of you don't want to run out of them.
I mean, it's the same.
Have you ever run out of underwear before?
No, because you
Like when
just
you were living out of your car or anything like that?
no. I was the cleanest live out the car person ever. You know what I mean? But no, because I always had underwear. But I think it's like you just want new ones on deck.
Mm.
But then when it's time to open, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna save them motherfuckers. My sister I used to do that with socks when I was in high school. I would buy school supplies. I buy a pack of paper,
Mhm.
and I would use 1 pack of paper for the whole year.
Gotcha. So there was, but you wouldn't have a backup one?
No, I would get socks. I buy a pack of 6 socks, and I would use 3 of them for the winter, and then I save 3 of them for the summer.
See, I've done that with so many things. People used to get I do that with drugs. I do that with everything. It's always about rationing things out
Yeah.
to make them last. And maybe that comes from a hoarder mentality, but it's just always been like,
Or growing up poor, or being a comic too, where your things are few and far between. Your money, financial blessings as an artist is few and far in between. So you like, oh, if I do this, I could consistently
have this
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something smart about it. But when you start hoarding, that's when it's like,
Mhm.
you know, you got a problem. Ain't no more room in your house because it's all like
Yeah, when it just in case becomes your entire house, yeah, that's always too much. That's a bit much.
that's how I think I could become with the with like certain tools and stuff.
Mhm.
Like having tools, and I'm like, yeah, man, some shit go down. You know,
I have
the world go to
just
end.
the
I got this
tool.
thing, you know what I mean? I just got this one thing that I could use. But I don't know, you know. I think everybody got something. My sister used to steal my socks when I was young.
Mhm.
Because she knew it was always a pack of 3. She would burn through her shit. And then she'd know, like, oh, I know where some fresh socks at. And then she would use them and put them back and try to fold them as
Oh,
if I didn't know.
no. Like you can't
Tell
tell
that the band was
use-
stretched. And we get into it recently. She's like, you always been funny about your shit.
Yeah, I don't
Eric,
want you to
can't even
steal
move it
my
a little bit. You
socks.
can't even move it a little bit, you know.
There's a difference between you being particular about your things and someone wearing socks and then acting like they're not fucking used. No. Is there anything like that you're particular, but like some in like a relationship, people about sharing a toothbrush or
Is that a thing?
I know some people. I don't like it.
That don't make sense.
I do not like.
That don't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense because we swap spit. You know, I kiss my boyfriend, we make out, I put my mouth on his genitals. It shouldn't fucking matter. But my toothbrush is my fucking toothbrush. Yeah.
I think that's different. All that is different. You know.
Yeah, I just can't.
I don't lick the ass or two, but it's not a toothbrush.
Yeah.
I don't. Even my girl coughing, I'll take my toothbrush out the thing and put it somewhere else. I'm one of them, you know what I mean? You know, I don't want no dust and then
I don't want anything on it. Yeah, there's a little cap on it for a reason. I don't want anything on it. Well, I think that's part of it is like wanting it to be the thing that's cleaning it. So the thing that's cleaning needs to be clean. I don't know. But a lot of times that doesn't work with like...
I'm trying to think, is it probably because my girl is from a country or a household where they share everything, no matter what it is. And I grew up in a place where people had their name on shit.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I didn't have my name on nothing because I didn't have the thing. So it's like,
So you want when you have something that's yours, it matters. It's matters. Mine. Yeah, it's mine.
That's mine. And that's a thing we have in our relationship. If I leave a bottle of water on the table and I leave, she said her OCD don't allow the water to be on the table. My OCD or whatever, I just don't like the water to be removed.
Yeah.
If I come back home, I'm going to get the water.
Right.
Even if it's 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
And that's the thing, is just learning those little things, you know what I mean? So yeah, she'll throw away mayonnaise and it's still like that much mayonnaise in the jar. And she like, you got a new mayonnaise jar. I'm like, no, that go in the closet.
Yeah.
For when this is
it's backup mayonnaise.
For when it's completely done,
that's
I don't want to have to look for it. I just know it's there.
Yeah. Just because the new thing showed up doesn't mean I just want it to be prepared. Yeah. I don't want to be left without. So I have this that's to replace that when that's done.
and it would be spousal abuse for shit like that back in the day.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, you know, but I think it's just what it is, you know. That's what I don't like and what I do like about relationships, because it's like nature's way of saying, is it worth it? Is some of this stuff worth it? You know.
Usually it's not. Usually it's something small or a miscommunication or whatever.
It's all dumb.
It's
sometimes,
all dumb.
When you think about it, but you know.
But it's also that's also like the difficulty of living with someone is how you do things, how they do things, and how that clashes, and you trying to put the Jenga pieces stacked up together in a way that doesn't fall down.
Like I got a system. That's what I say. I got a system. This is how it works. You know what I mean?
And then they have a system, and they're like, "This system is silly," or "Your system doesn't make sense."
Is your boyfriend scared of you?
No, I don't think so. I think I chose most of my boyfriends. Yes, I'm nuts, so I get why they would be. I'm not scared of violence. Like, there's plenty of reasons that someone who was with me could come from abuse, so that like statistically I should be abusive, whatever. But
not in a way like that, but in a way where he don't want to bring no bullshit to the house because he don't want to hear your mouth about it. Like, not in an abusive way, but like in an old school way. It's like, you know, look, man, if I do this, like somebody be like, you know, your boyfriend, like, you tell him like, hey, we got dinner reservations or whatever at 8. Get there at 8. And he's like, all right. And then he out somewhere and they like, man, they could be late. She ain't gonna be mad. And he like, man, I gotta go. And he tell his best friend, fuck all y'all, I'm going. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I guess he shows up on time, so maybe it's that. But I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a respect thing. Like, I would drop everything for him.
It's a similar thing though.
How?
Because that's a part of the respect.
Respect is fear? No, I disagree. I don't need to be scared of you to respect you.
No, it's a little thing there, because you say something. You might not be as mouthy as others, but you might say something. You know, y'all could be.
I would make fun. If he fucked up, I would make fun of him.
Yeah, that's the fear. He gonna make sure he on point. because you're a comic and he fuck up, that shit might be like, and then whatever the fuck you say, you don't know. Sometimes we just say shit and don't even think. You know, I opened the door yesterday. My daughter had on an all green pajama, and I was like, "Damn, you look like the Grinch."
Oh, no.
And then, you know, the babysitter just started laughing in a way that's like she covered her mouth and laughed. I'm like, "Oh, this probably was bad." But if she was older and had like long-term memory,
right?
You know, this could be why she like on the stripper pole or some shit. But that's what I mean.
I don't know if
like,
one comment could do that, but if maybe.
Damn, baby, why you in the strip club? You said I
She's
look like
wearing all green on the stripper pole too. Poison. Now
like
welcome to the stage, Poison Ivy.
Coming out the Christmas songs and shit.
I don't know. I don't think he's scared of me, but I think I also front loaded it with I wanted him. I have like, and I don't know if it's because I'm neurodivergent, but there's a fairness. That fairness matters to me a lot. So it's not. I'll do the same thing. It's not the I bitch about this. There's a common thing among these gender roles where it's like I'll complain about this, but then I also do the thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I make sure that I do it. I'll do it.
And I bet I know why you do it.
What do you mean?
And I bet your dude shares his emotion with you.
What?
I bet he shares his emotions with you, and y'all talk through certain
Absolutely.
things. You know why? Because you got the masculine energy.
Yeah, is that what it is? Why?
Because you probably logical. You probably more logical at times. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So, but
I'm also still plenty emotional too. So it's like,
when you need to be.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning is creating a space, because the type of women I dealt with was always masculine. Because my mom is very aggressive, and then like a situation I had my babysitter when I was 10, you know what I mean, was allowing me to you know, it's a gift and a curse, you know, in a sense. But I realized it's not the way it should be all the time. Like female shouldn't have to wear that armor.
Right.
Because it takes away from their nature, which is creativity. And because they bring babies into the world. And I do know if a woman's blocked creatively, it's harder for them to have kids, spiritually, creatively. Not like I doodle in Starbucks, you know what I mean? I'm talking spiritually,
okay, what do you mean creative?
In a spiritual way, you know what I mean? And then some of the stuff I realized, like, guys complain about women is that creative nature, because the creative nature is like this.
Right.
You know, so
but that's what I'm saying is like, I think, well, I mean, for me, I also just have more testosterone than the average woman. Like I have a chemical imbalance where I have, so it's not like something I can put down. It's not a facade, because I've seen people have these kinds of conversations about like women being more masculine to repel certain men and stuff like that, or to protect themselves, all of that shit. I just have more testosterone than the average woman.
I think sometimes it's environment. You know, some ladies have to, because their environment be the protector and the whatever, which I need, because I grew up in the environment where women protect. And my first marriage didn't work out, probably for that reason, because my ex grew up in a house where
they were protected.
Men protect and women didn't work. You know what I mean? And I grew up in a house where women work, and the men just like kick it, you know what I mean? So my life models that, you know what I mean? And my girl get upset, I'm like, look, you know, I'm doing my best out here.
But that's the thing is, I didn't do it the way that my parents did it, I guess.
Well, not you, but you.
I wanted it to be fair. Well, no, I guess there was a fairness between them. They both worked. They both contributed. Everything was like a joint together. Like it was a together. It wasn't.
No, this is very specific though.
Right.
So it's different for everybody, because we're talking in spiritual realms.
Yeah.
It's just the yin and the yang.
Right.
right? So when you find your yang, if you yin or if you yang, you find your yang,
Yang, if you find your yang,
it's gonna be whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you could be probably more masculine at times, you know.
But that's the other thing too, is I feel like I'm safe to be either one or more of one or the other, because he knows the other one is there. So I'm not worried about him thinking I'm, I don't know, like less of a woman or anything like that, because I'm brash or logical or anything like that, or feeling that I have to compensate for that. So I guess that goes to the yin yang thing, where it's like,
it's supposed to be.
It also goes back to the safety thing, which we talked about at the beginning of the episode.
Exactly.
There's a safety.
It has to be safe for you to be, for both of y'all to balance back and forth, because there's times where he got to take off armor as well.
Right.
And you can't shut him down, or you can't talk shit about his.
No, and I don't. That's what I'm saying.
No, you don't. I've had it happen to me before, but it's
I think that's so. I think,
but they're not aware of it.
Men to go to therapy and then be an asshole when they're vulnerable.
Well,
you can't do that.
They don't. Sometimes they don't know because they such aggressive people themselves.
Oh yeah, I get
and
it.
They don't
that's
but that's how also you end up in a situation with a woman like that, because you over aggressive. So it's one point it's two aggressive people, because they don't like the non-aggressive dudes. If they boss around, if they work and they a boss and they boss around 500 people, they don't want to come home and like have to boss around. You know?
Yeah, that's the whole like CEOs wanting to get their nuts stomped and stuff like that, and be told that they're not, they're powerless and all that stuff. I get that.
That's a whole nother issue.
That is another issue. Do you want to plug anything? We gotta wrap it up.
I'm at Byron Bowers on Instagram. I'm at ByronBowersLive.com for shows. Not as active on neither of those things, but you can get a glimpse of what I did in the past 2 weeks. Rolling Coffee Bean, at Rolling Coffee Bean, if you're in the cars. I got that one also. Google my name and a bunch of shit.
Where's
Lady in the Lake on Apple TV, which I shot.
Oh, nice.
With Natalie Portman and Moses Ingram.
And where's the special streaming?
It's on Disney. It's called Spiritual Nigga, but you gotta look under my name because Disney wasn't comfortable putting nigga on the thing, so they put a bunch of like stars. Shout out to Disney though, you know what I mean?
I love it.
We fought for that title, and they was like, finally, like, okay, but we not gonna promote it. You know? And I was like, oh, this is how they do it. But also Kimmy, I'm in Swarm, Concrete Cowboys, Honey Boy, just a few different things. I'm probably on every platform. Even Tubi, I did something with Killer Mike, which was cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad, man. I wish I would have asked you about that before we ran out of time.
Cartoon, yeah.
What's the name of the cartoon?
I don't know. That's why I said.
That's my bad. I should have set you up for that.
No, it's all good. Jerron Horton wrote it and directed it, which is a very talented writer who's a comedian. Started as a door guy at the
comedy store.
Yeah, at the comedy store. You know what I mean? And worked his way up. In the back room of those roasts, he's the DEI hire. Not just playing, but he is the black. He's a black dude that works on the roast too. You know, with Tony and those guys. So I think that's it, man. I think that's it so far. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Pray for me.
And thank you guys. I will preview. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you. Make sure you go patreon.com/NoSirPod to throw money at the pod for this, to have this wonderful space. CarmenMorales.com for all of your Carmen Morales needs. Follow us, share some clippies if you can. I appreciate it very much. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.